So Sierra Pacific, the new casement that's available right now to date, most people in the country have never seen this. Most haven't heard of it. It's brand new. Even some of the dealers and manufacturer reps don't have this yet, but we got the sneak peek and we were able to get one on our end so we can make a cool video of it to show it to you so you get a first look just like we are. The Narrow Casement, new casement by Sierra Pacific. What an amazing window. What a gorgeous view. Combined with the performance, combined with the hardware, there is a ton to unpack here. There's a ton to check out when it comes to this window. I've been excited about this window for quite some time because we've known it's coming along. And now that it's here, it did not let down. So the exterior, 0.0625 gauge aluminum on the extrusion. The extrusion incorporates the nailing fin in the frame. What a great solution, because that frame, everything on there, the nailing fin, it makes it an easy install. It makes it a solid install, and it's not one of those flappy folding vinyl nailing fins. It is solid and rigid, and your installer is gonna thank you for it. Now on the outside here, you'll see the construction of the window. They have this mitered frame, and there's no corner keys that are visible. There's no silicone that's visible. It's just perfectly constructed, perfectly assembled at the factory. And when you're looking at a window, and especially a narrow window, there's not a lot to hide. So you want to make sure you have nothing to hide. And they've done a fantastic job with the construction on the miters of that you don't see any corner keys or anything wrapping it over, any silicone coming out of the miters or anything like that. It's just beautiful, narrow, sleek, and modern. Now they did a nice job on the sash as well. These sash are really narrow when we talk about the narrow casement, and the narrow casement styles are 1.75 inches, and the bottom rail is a 2 7/16. Now the bottom rail is a little taller, and that's because of the hardware. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But the mortise and tenon construction on there allows your classic wood window look and feel that just speaks premium, high quality, and the view that's on there with that beautiful paint finish. This is a black sable paint finish. Really just speaks to high quality. So many folks are doing black windows now, right? Especially in modern homes. When you look at black windows, they're great. They're beautiful. I have black windows in my own personal home, but something like a black sable is a really nice touch that from the street, it looks black, but it's a little different. And it adds a certain richness to a home that someone doesn't necessarily catch that with their eye right away, but it adds just a certain richness. And they really capture a home run at Sierra Pacific with their colors by doing 50 standard colors. On top of that, you could do a custom color if you want. But because they powder coat, they can offer textures, colors, all types of options are available, and they can do it in premium finishes like an AMA 2604 or AMA 2605 finish. An AMA 2605 finish allows you to capture a 30-year warranty right now. So powder coat finish, AMA 2604, AMA 2605, 50 colors, textures, finishes. This is a matte finish right here. This is black shadow. What a cool version. We just talked about black windows. What about black shadow? Just that matte finish. What a great way to have kind of a masculine choice when it comes to black windows, but by doing the matte finish, it just softens it a bit. What a beautiful look on the highest grade extruded aluminum, the highest grade paint finish available on extruded aluminum. The window can be made as small as 16.5 inches wide by 18 inches tall when it's operable, but it can be made as large as 48 inches wide by 96 inches tall. That's 4 foot by 8 foot. Now there are some limitations in with that on width versus height. It's a maximum of 56 square feet. In addition to that, you can have stationary windows that go along with this, 14 by 14, nice and small, or 10 foot by 10 foot. Now again, 56 square feet is the maximum, so you can't make a 10 foot by 10 foot window, but substantial sizes. To have a casement that could be 48 inches wide, 4 foot wide, is not available by many companies out there. Most go to 42 on the outside. So 48 inches wide, substantial. 8 foot tall, substantial. A lot of opportunity combined with that 1.75 inch style. Really just a narrow look. When you look at this, this is a suitcase sample, and it's a small window because it's a suitcase sample, but it's still pretty darn narrow when you think about increasing the sizes of where everyone wants to go now and maintaining that. It's impressive. Part of the way that they do this has to do with the way they constructed the sash. Now, many companies, when they go to build a window, they think wider. Stiles and rails, right? Stiles go up and down, rails go left and right. Many companies go wider in order to increase the size. Sierra went deeper. Their sash is 2.25 inches thick on this window, which is really substantial. Most companies go to 1.75 inches, so it's a full 1/2 inch thicker than most casement windows out there, but you're not seeing that because they went deeper. They really thought through it and did a fantastic job. Now, when we talk about that window, one of the most popular features, I think, is going to be the locking mechanism on this window and the way it locks, which is unlike anything else that we've seen out there. So let's check out the inside. Now, you'll notice here, first and foremost on this, how narrow that is, right? That you're right there. If you put your trim here with like a 1/8 inch reveal or 3/16 reveal, you're not seeing much at all when it comes to that window. It's right to the glass. Even where the sash sits on the narrow casement, it's pretty much flush with the stop. So you're just getting that visual right there. Gorgeous. Now, the locking mechanism is what I really want to draw your attention to. You don't see any levers on the sides of this. You don't see cam locks where there's a couple, on the side, or a sequential lock where there's one handle which will unlock that window. What's really super about this is the locking mechanism is built directly into the folding handle. You see, this is still the transport handle on there because we literally just uncrated this, but that locking mechanism is right there in the sash. And when you go to open it, you just undo that folding handle and it cranks right out. But here's what's really cool about this hardware. I know that's cool, but what's really cool about it is the way it locks. And that has to do with the performance of that window. Most companies will have the snubber, the little lock piece, which you can see here, that little hook. Most companies will have that hook facing down and it will be on the sash. The sash is the part that moves. Sierra, with their new casement, for sizing, for performance, all things considered, they have the snubber in the frame, and when the sash closes, it just pulls it even tighter, and it pulls it into the framing of that window. So it's a little different compared to everyone else, but being different's good. It's what sets you apart. And I think this locking mechanism is a great way to have a high-performing, clean window that's gonna have just a really nice view. Even when it's open, you don't see all these hooks coming down on the window. Not that there's anything wrong with them, that's kind of what everyone else does, but that's what's cool about Sierra Pacific and being a partner with Sierra Pacific at Monmouth Millwork is they do it different, and that's a really nice option. And you can see just how substantial that sash is. That 2.25 thick sash just gives you a complete premium package, solid window, and kind of allows you to have your cake and eat it too with the narrow casement, but being so thick the way they constructed it. Really a classic application here on a narrow view with new innovation. This one on the inside is Douglas fir. Most windows standard come in pine. Theirs comes in pine, but they do a lot of different species of wood. On top of that, you can put special requests in. This is a Doug fir with a clear coat. This has contemporary simulated divided light bars on there. This is 5/8, nice, narrow, sleek option there. But you can do contemporary, which is just squared. You can do ovalo for a more traditional look. You can do putty, which is just beveled edge on either side, and the bars vary in width. There's a lot that you could do to personalize that window. So just a really beautiful looking window. When you look at the gauge of the framing on there, it's a substantial product. It's a rigid product. Don't be confused by going, oh, it's the narrow casement, it's gonna be flimsy. I mean, look at that. That's amazing how solid that is. Now, I really like to get into the details of things. And when I get into the details of things, I like to compare it to what was or what it's kind of replacing. Now, this is the current narrow casement, the new narrow casement. And you see 2¼ inch sash. You see how narrow it is there. You see the new locking mechanism that's in place. And you could see the framing, just what you get with the framing on there, really just a substantial, solid, beefy window. I know it seems weird to say it's a beefy window when you think about how narrow it is, but it's all about the way they constructed it. And it's just gorgeous. You just look at how clean that is, going right in, that the inside of the sash and the stop are right in the same plane. It just goes right to the glass. What a cool look. Now, this is taking over for that original design, which is the urban casement. And the urban casement was a high quality window. It's really an awesome window offered by Sierra Pacific. A lot of clients that we deal with loved this window. I love this window. It's really just gorgeous. It's 2¼ inches from the edge of the frame to the visible glass. It's got that little step right there on the outside. Clean, again, very similar to this in the sense that the stop and the glass, it goes right into it. And this is kind of what they had as their most narrow option. Gorgeous window. But just look at that innovation that they've made. Look at how substantial that is. Really just an amazing feat in engineering and design to accomplish increased sizes and performance requirements, but not lose what made this such an amazing choice for a homeowner looking for a modern application. So the urban casement was awesome, but the new narrow casement, it's 2.0. Absolutely. You get the rigidity, you get the performance, you get the same quality, but a whole new range of technology along with it, and just all the bells and whistles, all the add-ons included. And I think, as far as everything that's out there, as far as Sierra Pacific orders, I think this window just screams design and innovation above everything else out there. I'm most excited about this one, the new narrow casement. If you'd like help regarding your windows and doors, contact us at info@monmouthmillwork.com.